Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Yeah, I'm sorry it took me a minute to upload this video. I did watch this movie last Thursday, had to let my voice heal for a minute. But here we are. This is a sequel directed by Fowler, who brought you the other two Sonic the Hedgehog movies, both of which I obviously like. So this first one right here, chock full of fun. The second one, which I've reviewed for this channel before, is really fun as well, albeit with some pacing issues. And all your favorites are coming back here. Sonic, Knuckles, once again voiced by Idris Elba. You have Tails here. And our heroes are reuniting to battle a mysterious new enemy with powers unlike anything they faced before. This enemy turns out to be Shadow, voiced by Keanu Reeves. And our heroes' abilities are outmatched in every single way, so they need to stop Shadow and protect the planet. So they have to forge an unlikely alliance with former enemy Dr. Robotnik, played once again by the legendary Jim Carrey. Hey, that unintentionally rhymed. Now, I've said it before on this channel, and I'll bring this up once again. I think Fowler, as a director, really has a passion for this IP. And you can sense that every single actor, every single creative force behind Sonic 3 has a love for this. Like, you can certainly sense that Sonic 3 was not made just to be a paycheck for anybody. It's a big holiday release for all the family to enjoy. And you know what? I gotta give the devils their due. Sonic 3 actually might have been my favorite of the three so far. Because this original Sonic, lots of fun, really easy watch at an hour and a half. It was stuck in development hell for a while, just because this guy didn't look as good as he should. Sonic 2 people liked more, but honestly, there were a bunch of derivative elements that kind of detracted me from it, and it did have a bunch of pacing issues. I'm glad to say that Sonic 3 fixes the pacing issues from its predecessor, which clocked in at around 2 hours on the dot. This one is around an hour 40. And thankfully, we do not have to deal with a dumbass wedding subplot with our boring human characters, who I will admit are not all that bad in this movie. That's James Marsden once again playing Tom, Sonic's father, and I think he puts forward a decent showing as he usually does. Our voice cast, so freaking good. Ben Schwartz is Sonic. I said it in my last review for this IP, but this guy understands the character. If I picked up a Sonic video game, this is what I'd envision him sounding like. You also have Idris Elba, fresh off of his Knuckles miniseries. And the fact that he's taking everything around him so seriously when in reality Knuckles is kind of a dumbass led to a lot of really good humor in this movie. That's another thing I really appreciated. I really do feel like Sonic 3 is funnier than the other two movies. And a lot of that has to do with Idris Elba's one-liners, and a lot of it has to do with Jim Carrey. Oh boy, this man, like, he's been contemplating retirement for a little while, and there's a part of me that's kind of dreading that day because I know I'm getting old when I see that Jim Carrey's retired. That man was such a huge part of my childhood with The Mask, The Grinch, you name it. And I knew that Jim Carrey was contemplating retirement even 2 years ago when Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out. So I knew that if they were going to bring this guy back, they would have had to not only pay him a big old pot of gold, but have a reason to bring Robotnik back, to have some sort of finality and conclusiveness to his story. And I'm not going to spoil anything in this video, don't you guys worry, but I think they succeeded on every front with Jim Carrey's performance here. Once again, this guy is just so damn energetic, not just as Robotnik, but also as Robotnik's grandfather. Yes, we get double Carrey in this. And he is really funny and super distinct in both roles. And you certainly sense the friction between grandfather and grandson. We don't get that family connection in a lot of movies these days. The grandfather to his grandson. Hey, I'm all for it. I was also all for the casting of Keanu Reeves as Shadow. And Fowler actually did say in interviews that he was influenced a lot by John Wick for wanting to cast Shadow. So no better way to actually really live up to that influence than casting John Wick himself. And man, Keanu Reeves so freaking great in this movie. I think the animation you get is once again extremely colorful. It is very pleasing to the eyes. The action sequences that you get are a ton of fun. Shadow is especially a kick-ass villain. And I really do appreciate how this movie utilizes its environment to its fullest extent. And it'll also certainly please the hardcore Sonic fans out there. Because I feel like if there's one thing this movie does extremely well is service the fans. And that's really the best thing you can ask for, is if you expect a certain something out of a product and you get it as a fan, you're going to walk out of this movie extremely pleased. And I walked out of this movie with my head held high, and I do think that this is the best Sonic movie of the trilogy. Certainly not without its issues. Does every joke hit a home run? Absolutely not. Does every action sequence hit the biggest maximum level of excitement that you can imagine? Not necessarily. I also feel like that comes with the territory. You're not going to be entertained by every single little thing in the movie unless the movie's a doggone masterpiece. And obviously, way too early to call Sonic 3 a masterpiece. It only just came out. But one big issue with this movie that I just can't seem to shake, really, the message. And it's not like it's a bad message necessarily, and how the script presents the message in terms of a specific character, it makes sense and it tracks, but it certainly feels like it's a message that's more catered to younger kids. It's centered around the kind of person you want to be and how you should always do the right thing. And all I'm thinking is, this movie seems like it's preaching to the choir, because a lot of adults absolutely know how to do the right thing. So it feels like this is more of a movie for all the family to enjoy. If you have younger kids, absolutely bring them to see Sonic 3. Even though I do think this is the most entertaining and exciting of the three that we've gotten so far, I think the message feels way too generic, and it feels like it's been done better in other films. But this movie still packs a whole lot of speed, and it is so much fun to sit through. I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a B+. Any hardcore fan of video games in general, I feel like, will certainly get into this. But let me know what you think. Did you guys enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog 3? Let me know down in the comments section below. And let me know what your favorite Nintendo game is of all time. I feel so alive when I get in front of this camera and I talk to you guys, regardless of whether or not my voice is at 100%. But if you enjoyed this video, tap on that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up as well. That would be greatly appreciated. And I still have yet to see Mufasa the Lion King. I will plan to see that at some point soon and review it for you guys. And yeah, I guess if you guys want me to talk about Kraven the Hunter and rip it a new asshole, yeah, I guess I have to do that too. But thank you guys so much again for your continued support of this content. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.